If you got question, please stop me and make the questions.
All right, thank you.
Okay. The first question is minus 3y equal to, and they're asking, let me see the question, determine whether each question define y as a function. Why you think this one is a function? Remember, if you're allowed to solve for y, it's a function. Okay, you got negative 3y equal negative x plus 2. Y is equal negative x plus 2 divided by negative 3. We never divided by negative. Now we got x minus 2 over 3. I only change the sign for everybody. What is your answer? Yes. You're allowed to solve for y, you say yes, it's a function. The second question, we got x is equal y squared minus 2y plus 1. We got the same question, the statement, this one is a function. You say no. What is the reason? You need to factor. And when you factor, you're going to find two answers. You're going to find two answers. Y and y. Two answers. Okay? That is impossible. It's not function. Okay? Now, the reason that you're not allowed to factor y, you factor y, you're going to find two y's, and you need only one y. Okay? The next question says, state the domain and the range. You know the domain is all value for x, and the range will be all value for y. The best thing is try to sketch. Okay, I see that 2x minus 3 is equal 0. 2x is equal 3. X is equal 3/2. We got translation. Okay, we got translation. It's negative. You move to the positive side. How many units? 1, 2, in the middle, 3.5. And the graph will be something like that. Absolute values of V. What is the domain? No matter which number you plot, you got answer. The domain will be all real numbers. The range for the function. Look that nothing happened. Nothing happened in this side. Happened exactly in this point and up. We say from 0 to plus infinity. If you got questions, stop me, please. For number 4, we got x is equal the square root for y plus 1. They're asking for the domain. Don't matter this one is a function or not, be allowed to graph. It's possible to graph.
Flying for their lives.
Okay, you choose certain numbers. But in this moment, you're never plotting X, you're going to plotting Y. I allow to use 0. What happens you substitute 0? We got X equal the square root 0 plus 1. X is equal square root 1. My answer is 1. It's possible to use -1. Let me plot -1. -1 plus 1, 0. It's possible to use 1. Yes, we're allowed to use 1, but I don't know this. What is the square root for 1? For 2. I need the calculator. Now I use something that we know. I can use 3. If I substitute 3, you got 3 plus 1. That's 4. And 4 is equal to. Using this number, we are allowed to graph. The first one, we change the color. 1, 0. The next one will be 0, -1. And the next one will be 2, 3. The graph look like that. Now, what is the domain? Look the value for X. Nothing happened this part for X. Nothing happened. It start happening exactly right here. What is the value for X right here? Right here. What is the value for X? 0. And the domain will be from 0 to plus infinity. 0 to plus infinity. They go this direction. 0 to plus infinity. What is the range? What is the value for Y in this point? The value for Y in this point will be -1. -1 to plus infinity. Now you know already what is the domain, what is the range. Remember, you got question, stop me. And don't worry, this section will be recorded and I want to post at the end. Bye. They're asking to sketch. I'm going to use intersections. If I use intersection, will be more easy for me. What happens if you plot 0 right here? If you plot 0, we got 0 plus 2y equal 4. Y will be 4 divided by 2. Y is equal 2. We got the first point. 0, 2. Now what happens when y is equal to 0? And I to plot 0 right here. We got x plus 2 times 0 equal 4. X is equal 4. And the value for x will be 4. My sketch will be something like that. You don't have to find the domain and range because they only asking a sketch. The question number 6. Y is equal the square root of x minus 1. We know already that when you got a square root or radical, it's a check mark. I'm going to use the transformations. We got -1. If you got -1, you move to the opposite side, 1 unit. And exactly right here, you start the picture. And you sketch, is what they're asking for. Questions? Number 7. Y is equal look at the one. The power is 2. You know already that you got parabola. I'm going to use the transformations. You got -1. You move to the opposite side, 1 unit. We got -2 outside. You move down 2 units. And we got reflection. I mean, you flip the graph. You got the sketch already. Remember that the original one is this one, parabola. You got -1 inside. You move 1 unit. You got -2 outside. One, two. And at the end, you got negative. Whatever you have, you flip it. Then they are asking for a sketch. If they are asking only for the graph, you have to mention some points. Remember, you got the application, Desmos, they help you. Okay, now we got piecewise function. We got 2 functions at the same time. We have to grab 2 functions in the same plate, but we have to find only 1 function. And let me call this one, the first one. We got y is equal x plus 1. I'm going to use intersection to graph. When x is equal 0, y is equal 1. Now when y is equal 0, x is equal -1. +1, -1. And we got the first graph. Now I'm going to use the second one. Y is equal to -x. And again, I'm going to use intersections. What happens when x is equal to 0? And what happens when y is equal to 0? When x is equal to 0, y is equal to. Now, when y is equal to 0, x is equal to. One, two, 1, 2. If you check this one, it's not a function. When you try to do the vertical test, they're going to touch more than one time. So, big a condition right here. What is the condition for the first one? The condition for the first one said that all number that's less than 2, not included. I look for number 2, open this direction. And the condition for the second one say all number greater than 2. I look this number 2 right here, included this direction. Now in this moment, you don't need this part. Don't need this part. Also this one. This one will be my new graph. Now the question, this one is a function? Yes, because if you draw vertical line, they pass. No matter in which part you do the vertical test, pass. Okay, we got the function f. And try to remember that this one is not a class, it's a small review about functions. So we finished already functions. In this one, we got 2 functions. On the question 9, asking for the function when you plot forward. I mean, you have to evaluate the function f before. We got 4 squared plus 4. We got 16 plus 4, 20. The question 10. You see the power is negative, mean that you have to find the inverse of the function g. The first step, y is equal to x plus 1. The second step, I switch the variable. And the third step, we have to solve for y. Now my inverse will be x minus 1 divided by 2. Let me use another page for the next question. 11. Dimension composition. Okay, people, don't confuse this little multiplication. This little mean composition. Mean that the last function has to be plotted in the first function. The last function has to be plotted in the first function. I look for the function g. G is equal to x plus 1. Okay. If I substitute 2 in the function, you got 2 times 2 plus 1 is equal 4 plus 1 equal 5. I mean, f of 5. Now I look for the function f. The function f is equal x squared plus x. What happens is if I substitute 5, we got 5 squared plus 5. In 25 plus 5. 30. Will be the final answer. Page. And we're going to use the same function g. 2x plus 1. Okay. Now, in this function, I'm going to substitute x plus h right here. I mean 2x plus h plus 1 minus the function. The function g is equal to x plus 1 all divided by h. We apply distribution. We open the brackets. Divided by h. Positive 2x cancel negative 2x. Positive 1 cancel negative 1. Now we got 2h divided by h is equal to. Also, the formula called different quotient or average rate. If you plan to go to calculus 1, will be the first derivative. Question, people? No questions?
No.
Okay. You got question, let me know which question you got trouble, and we go over again. Question 13. Let's say f of x equal Yes, plus 3 minus 1. And they're asking a state interval on which this function is increasing. The best way, if I sketch the function, I remember that this one will be h, and this one is k, the vertex. My vertex is equal -3, -1. Remember, I changed the sign because of the parentheses. In a graph, I look for -3, and when you need that. This one is my sketch, not the graph, the sketch. If I know the sketch, it's possible for me mention when the function is increased. Remember, increase is you going up. I know exactly the value for this point. And remember for definition that I post also in the PowerPoint and the books, that already the intervals for increase, decrease, and constant is based in the domain, not in the range. That means we go to use always the value for x. Exactly in this point, the function going up. What is the value for this point? -3. I mean, it's increased from -3 to plus infinity. Also remember that for increase, decrease, and constant, always open, never is closed. For the question 14, we got f of x. It's power 3 minus x. And they're asking to discard the symmetry. I mean, we have to say that it's even, odd, or maybe no one, neither. If I start with even, I have to say negative x and positive x. I need to prove that the left side is equal to the right side. If the left side is equal to the right side, I can say yes, it's even. Now we substitute negative in the function. Equal the function. I open the parentheses. And I compare the left side and the right side. They are different. Since they are not equal, even? No, they are not even. Now I try to prove it's odd. The definition for odd say negative the function. Now we substitute the negative. Now we multiply all functions by negative. Okay, all functions by negative. And this we got negative x power 3 plus x, negative x power 3 plus x. That equal? Yes. We got the end for the discussion. I confirm that this function is add. Because the left side is equal to the right side. Okay, question 15. Ready the moment. You have to use interval using inequality to see which set is the real solution for this interval. Okay, I try to visualize the graph, only the graph, thinking that this one is a function. If I move the one, we get -1. I try to visualize the function first to see what happens. You got positive 1, -1. Will be my graph. Be something like that. Also, I can visualize in the real line the critical points. In the critical point, we got x minus 1 squared greater than 1, x minus 1, apply the square root for 1. Since you apply square root, we got like that. One property for the square root. I mean, x, we got -2 on this side, and you got 0 on this side. We got one interval in 1. I can say that, let me change the color, that x is greater than 0 in this direction, not included. And for this one, I look for -2 in this direction. So my solution for this inequality will be from -infinity to -2 union 0 to +infinity. If I want to check it's true, I'm going to use the number 1 and I substitute in the equation. If I substitute 1 in the equation, we got 1 minus 1 is 0, and 0 is bigger than 1, you say yes, this one is true, this part is false, and this part is true. Okay, let me grab this one again because the sketch was not clear. I know the vertex, positive 1 and 1. Now I look for the intersections. When 8 is equal to 0, we got -1 square, we got 0, 0. Right here. When the function is equal to 0, we got 0 equal, it's -1 square, -1. 1 is equal, is -1. We apply square root both sides. Square root on both sides. You say plus minus because you made the square root. Now we got plus minus 1 equal x minus 1. In the first one, you got positive 1 plus 1. That is equal to the same value that you have right here. And the next one, we got x equal positive 1 minus 1. The graph going this way. I mean, the answer will be only this part. When the graph is positive, when the graph is positive. The question 16. The question 16, they're asking for the average. Since they're talking about the average rate, they said that Pete was charged $60 for 300 business cards. $80 for 500 business cards. And they're asking for the average rate. The average rate, it is send different quoting, or they send a slope. Remember the slope this slope is equal y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Now y2 will be 500 minus 300, $80 minus $60. In the top we got 200 over 20. And my answer is 10. In other words, he paid $1 for 10 business cards. Will be the rate, the average rate. Okay, 17, we have the area for the rectangle. Of this rectangle. The area is equal 30 square feet. They're asking, write the perimeter of the rectangle as a function of the length. Okay, Francisco, no problem. Now we look for perimeter. Perimeter is equal to L plus 2W. But we know already the formula for the area. L times W. So we know already that the area is equal to 30. And we solve for L or for W, no problem. If I solve for L, we got 30 over W equal L. Now we got the new function. This one is the function, the perimeter. And we got 2L. So what happened? The value for L will be 30 over W plus 2W. My function will be 60 over W plus 2W. And just stop it right here because we don't know the value for W and for L. And they're asking only for the function. And the last one, the question 18. They say that the grade for Walker's math test varied directly. If you study only 2 hours, study 2 hours, and he made 62 points in the test. What will be his score if he studied 3 hours? Okay. Saying the problem say directly means that the value for the top, the unit for the top will be the same unit for the top on the left and the right side, indirectly. Now we solve the proportion. It is equal 62 times 3 divided by 2. Okay, 62 times 3. Or we simplify 62 and 2. Now we got 93. 93 points. We got questions, people? No questions?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
you got question about the class?
No, Professor.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay. Remember, we are supposed to finish the function already. Try to, remember, it's not mandatory to submit the homework now, but try to submit the homework. Yes, Ahik?
Question, is this recording is gonna be available on Blackboard?
Yes. If the Zoom no bring problem, yes, I want to post today in the Blackboard.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Remember, you got questions, send me email. Don't worry about that.
I have one question, Professor.
Yes?
So I noticed that there's specific dates that you want the homework done, and also the date for us to take the test. Can we do it beforehand if we study the material and stuff?
Yes, it's up to you.
Okay,
But
awesome.
don't accumulate the material. Remember, the homework, you're allowed to do homework in limited time. You can do the homework 100 times you want.
Okay.
For the test, you got 3 opportunities.
Yes.
But what happens with the test? The test, the questions are similar to the homework.
Yes.
Try to do the homework many times. If you don't make the homework, you're ready for the test.
Got it.
Now, if you got printer at home, or you got ability to copy things, open the test or the homework. Don't submit. Say the answers. Don't submit. Answer the answers separate, and later you come back to the computer and you post.
Got it. Yep.
Okay?
You got it, Professor. Thank you so much.